Welcome back to These Stories Matter, where we explore the most iconic and inspiring stories in cinema, history, and culture. Today, we're diving into Ridley Scott's masterpiece, Gladiator. This is an epic that takes us on a journey through betrayal, honor, and vengeance, set against the backdrop of the powerful Roman Empire. In this video, we'll explore the world of Maximus Decimus Meridius, a general turned slave who fights for justice in a land ruled by corruption. Get ready for an in-depth look into this gripping tale of courage, but don't worry, we're steering clear of any spoilers regarding the film's climax. Let's dive in. The story begins in the year 180 AD, during the height of the Roman Empire. Our protagonist, Maximus Decimus Meridius, is introduced as a Roman general who commands the respect of his troops. We first see him leading his army to a decisive victory in the forests of Germania. The battle is fierce, showcasing Maximus's skills as a tactician and leader. But even in the midst of war, Maximus dreams of returning to his family. A simple life on his farm in Spain, where his wife and young son wait for him. This reveals Maximus' humanity and the sense of duty that drives him, not just as a soldier, but as a man who values honor and family above all. After the victory, we're introduced to Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the wise and aging ruler of Rome. He recognizes the strength and integrity of Maximus and holds him in high regard. The emperor sees a bright future for Rome but knows that it's in danger. His son, Commodus, lacks the moral compass needed to rule, and Marcus Aurelius contemplates a bold decision, to name Maximus as his successor and restore the Republic, taking power away from the corrupt Senate and ensuring Rome's stability. Commodus, the emperor's son, is introduced as an ambitious, insecure, and morally bankrupt character. He craves power but lacks the wisdom of his father. This dynamic sets the stage for one of the core conflicts in the film. When Marcus Aurelius reveals to Maximus that he intends to name him as protector of Rome and asks him to lead the empire back to a republic, Maximus is stunned. He has no political ambitions and only desires to return to his family. However, his sense of duty compels him to agree to the emperor's wishes, despite his reluctance. Tragically, Commodus learns of his father's plan and takes matters into his own hands. In a moment that changes the course of the story, Commodus kills Marcus Aurelius. Commodus then seizes the throne, declaring himself emperor and quickly eliminating those who could threaten his reign. When Maximus refuses to pledge loyalty to the new emperor, Commodus orders his execution. Maximus, however, manages to escape, though gravely injured, and begins a desperate journey back to his home in Spain. Maximus's escape marks the beginning of a painful transformation in his life. He rushes home, but when he arrives, he finds his worst nightmare realized. His home is destroyed, and his wife and son have been brutally murdered on Commodus's orders. The scene is heartbreaking, and it represents the complete dismantling of Maximus' former life. Stripped of everything he loved, Maximus is no longer a general, a husband, or a father. He is left broken, alone, and full of grief. What makes this part of the story so impactful is the stark contrast between Maximus' rise as a Roman general and his sudden fall into despair. He loses not only his family but also his identity and status. From this point forward, Maximus' motivation shifts from honorably serving Rome to seeking revenge against the man responsible for his suffering, Commodus. Maximus, now physically and emotionally shattered, is captured by slave traders. He is sold into slavery, stripped of his freedom and forced into a world of violence and survival. He is brought to Zucabar, a remote province in North Africa, where he is purchased by Proximo, a former gladiator who now owns a troop of fighters. Maximus, once a powerful general, is now reduced to a mere slave destined to fight in gladiatorial arenas for the amusement of the crowds. The transformation of Maximus from general to gladiator is a crucial turning point. We see him at his lowest, battling for survival in a foreign land, but even in the face of this new reality, Maximus remains determined. At first, he refuses to fight, but his natural leadership and combat skills soon surface. Proximo recognizes his potential and begins training him for the brutal world of the gladiatorial games. Maximus's journey through the gladiatorial arenas marks the beginning of his slow rise back to power. The gladiator games are brutal, deadly contests where only the strong survive. Maximus quickly proves his worth in the arena, displaying the same tactical genius and fighting prowess that made him a great general. Under the name the Spaniard, Maximus earns the respect of his fellow gladiators, including Juba, a Numidian warrior who becomes his closest ally, and Hagen, a Germanic fighter. As Maximus wins more battles, his reputation grows, and he becomes a crowd favorite. But Maximus isn't fighting for fame. His sole focus is on surviving long enough to get his revenge on Commodus. His rise through the ranks brings him closer to achieving that goal, as he knows that the path to Commodus lies through the Colosseum in Rome. Maximus's journey comes full circle when he is brought back to Rome, the city he once served as a general. Commodus, now emperor, has turned the Colosseum into the centerpiece of his reign, using the games as a way to win favor with the people and distract them from his corrupt rule. Rome has become a city of spectacle, and the Colosseum is the stage where the empire's thirst for blood is quenched. Maximus, still hiding his true identity, enters the Colosseum as a gladiator. His presence in Rome is dangerous. Commodus believes him to be dead, and if his identity is discovered, he could be executed on sight. But Maximus knows that the Colosseum is his only way to get close to Commodus. The games are larger and more dangerous than anything Maximus has faced before, featuring massive battles, wild animals, and gladiators from all corners of the empire. Maximus isn't alone in his quest for justice. In Rome, he begins to build alliances with those who oppose Commodus. One of the key figures in this political intrigue is Senator Gracchus, who represents the old guard of the Republic and sees Commodus's reign as a threat to Rome's future. Gracchus is disillusioned with the corruption that has taken over the Senate and seeks to restore power to the people. Lucilla, Commodus' sister, also plays a crucial role. Though she is part of the imperial family, Lucilla harbors deep fears about her brother's descent into madness and tyranny. She shares a complicated past with Maximus, and despite her position, she secretly works against Commodus, helping to form a plan that could overthrow him. This political undercurrent adds layers to the story, as Maximus must navigate not only the physical dangers of the Colosseum but also the complex world of Roman politics. As Maximus continues to win battles in the Colosseum, he becomes a symbol of hope and rebellion for the people of Rome. The crowds, unaware of his true identity, rally behind him, chanting "Spaniard," as he defeats increasingly dangerous opponents. His victories are not just physical, they are symbolic, representing the strength of the people against the corruption of the emperor. Maximus's success in the arena begins to unsettle Commodus, who is both fascinated and disturbed by this new gladiator's popularity. Commodus, always hungry for control, sees the Colosseum as his domain. And Maximus's rise threatens his authority. The emperor's paranoia grows as he tries to uncover the identity of this mysterious fighter. The tension between Maximus and Commodus reaches its peak when Maximus is forced into a situation where he must reveal his identity. The moment when Commodus realizes that Maximus, the man he thought dead, has returned as a gladiator is a pivotal one. Commodus is both shocked and terrified by Maximus's reappearance, and the power dynamic between them shifts dramatically. But Maximus is no longer just seeking personal revenge, he has become a symbol of resistance, a man who embodies the hopes of those who long for the return of a just and honorable Rome. His journey from general to slave to gladiator is nearly complete, but the final confrontation with Commodus will determine the future of Rome. Gladiator reminds us that true strength isn't just about physical power, but the courage to stand for something greater than ourselves. If you've enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to These Stories Matter for more inspiring stories from history, legend and the movies. And remember, this was only a glimpse into the epic journey of Maximus. If you haven't seen Gladiator yet, make sure to check it out. It's a cinematic experience you won't want to miss.